let's get this one going too. All right. So what Kurt and I and my goal for this year was to work towards embedding our global context better within our units and bringing them to life and having a more meaningful reason for selecting them and teaching them to the students. So we're going to just talk through that process here so that we can arrive on a global context for the unit we have upcoming. So we put together just this overview here. Kurt, you want to kind of talk through where we're at the beginning?
Yeah. So this unit is going to be a choice unit, I guess, for a lack of better term, that we've brought 8th grade design students through 3, I'd say, structured units where we've made all the decisions as far as what they're going to be doing and when, like most of us do all the time. But we wanted to really get a feel for whether students were truly grasping the design cycle and the concepts that we've been talking about throughout the entire school year. So we wanted to give them a lot of choice. So we kind of needed to have a structure. So we had been talking for the last several months about doing a new unit and basing it on the United Nations Development Goals, which there's 17 of them. So there is a structure to the unit that students kind of have to investigate which goal they want to choose. And after we kind of decided on that structure, then we were looking at the concepts, and we decided on the key concept of communities. And what we're really talking about is a global community. But when it comes to the product that students make, it could boil down to the local level of community or even our school level of community. The related concepts that we thought went well with it were that of development and innovation, mainly because development is what they're going to be doing in creating their product. And innovation fit nicely because sometimes a solution to a problem is just rethinking a current solution and coming up with a different way of solving a problem. So we thought that one would work well. The next thing we have to decide is what is our context. And this is, like Jeremy said, this is kind of where we felt our area of growth was. So we wanted to really be purposeful about it, not just read through them, pick one, and then never really come back to it. We really wanted to make a very purposeful choice and refer back to it often, especially through the exploration. And then the summative, we had decided that we want the students to make a product. So they're going to make something tangible, whether it's an invention, an innovation of a current solution, or even a campaign. Maybe it's an informational type product that students are going to tell others about the goal that they're going to work towards helping solve.
So that puts us into trying to choose our global context. And so we pulled up the document here that has all 6 of the contexts, several questions and descriptions of them, and then the explorations to choose from as well. So we were initially thinking that as we were looking over these identities and relationships, probably doesn't really fit with what we're looking for. Orientation in space and time doesn't either. Personal and cultural expression might. We were thinking, though, probably scientific and technical innovation, especially, as Kurt was saying, since it has innovation right in the title there, it might work well with the whole scope of the project. So as we
kind of look at this one, Jeremy, though, as I read the definition, students will explore the natural world and its laws.
Right.
That definitely seems more connected to science, right? The interaction between people and natural world could fit.
Yeah. Yeah,
I guess
it might
feels more sciencey, doesn't it?
it might, yeah, scientific and technical innovations on communities and environments, right? So
Unless
there
is
is
there,
that theme throughout it of, definitely the scientific side of it.
yeah.
I think that as we look towards these explanations, or excuse me, explorations over here, systems, models, method, products, adaptation,
Well,
modernization.
products, processes, and solutions could work as exploration.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually pretty close to where we are asking them to head with their designs. I think one
Yeah.
thing maybe that it misses though is that sort of that internal motivation, or that spirit of how do I attempt to look at this problem and begin approaching it. And I
Yeah,
did
because
I
the context piece is really about the why, right? I
yeah.
mean, we want students to feel the reason why.
So, and I had noticed up here under personal and cultural expression, something that caught my eye. Now, in terms of cultural expression, that could be helpful here because we are asking students to think on a more global scale and identify different target audiences, or groups or communities that may be impacted by the solutions to their problems. Bringing in that international mindedness portion of the work that we attempt to do through our IB units. I saw
Yeah.
this one down here, Kurt, entrepreneurship, and I'm wondering entrepreneurship, practice, and competency, especially that entrepreneurship piece. I'm thinking, since it's a choice unit, and if we can get students to really latch on to a goal and a solution that is personal to them, interesting to them, something that they want to investigate more or develop, and put them into that mindset of, I've got to make this product uh, you know, well enough that people would want to use it, buy it, whatever.
Yeah, when I look at the definitions, students will explore the ways in which we discover and express ideas, feelings, nature, culture, beliefs, and values. That seems like a definition that fits a lot better with if students were given a choice
Yeah,
of something that means something to them. Really, this is going to be the context of why the students would want to work at this project, right? I mean, because
right.
they're going to be choosing something that has a value to them,
Yeah,
and how they can make that. So I think the making part, we can certainly talk about entrepreneurship, and the spirit of entrepreneurial type work, and the driving forces behind what makes successful entrepreneurs. I think fits nicely with the motivation side of the context of this one.
yeah. I like that it brings in some creativity. Students are definitely going to need that as they think through their projects. It also it's less narrow than the scientific and technical innovation one. There is more openness to it, and that entrepreneurial spirit towards owning the product they make and believing in it as a solution to the problem they've chosen, I think is right where we want to head.
Perfect. I love it.
So
I
let's
think it's great with our concepts of
yeah. So
community
let's take
involvement, innovation.
that and let's just borrow the well, should we just take the entrepreneurship part?
Yeah, because we
Okay.
don't have to take the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
We can,
We're gonna focus on that as the context specifically. So
yeah,
got it. Okay. There we are. So I think the way that that'll kind of come to life in the project is that, we'll present some resources on what is entrepreneurship, how do you put it into practice, and bring it up again towards the 3/4 mark or so way through the project, where students can explain to us and others how they have used the idea of entrepreneurship to further their project.
of course, I have the lights that turn off, right?
Right. I think
All right, that
does that
sounds great.
set us up here to continue on to some other elements?
You bet.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.